What is it when it comes to dumbass? Now, I'm not saying all women are stupid, right? Not at all. But what is with some women who have been put in charge of power, they lose their fucking minds? Linda Thorpe comes to mind, along with Julia Gillard, two women who's dipshits who are in leadership. Dickheads 1 and 2. Especially when it comes to women in charge. But let's go see what this Dropkick Drongo drops now. This is a shot from from a camera angle coming from Guardian Australia. Please like and subscribe to their channel. Coming from you live about this bitch interrupting the ceremony of the King and Queen visiting Australia. Hello, King Charles. Welcome, King Charles. I don't know if you're ever going to come down to the South Australia crew, but you're welcome down here, buddy. But anyway, let's continue, shall we? Okay, let's go through this, shall we? One step at a time, bitch. I'm addressing this dickhead, this imbecile, this absolute bitch of an idiot. And by the way, I'll do, this bitch wants to come to me, please send, if anyone has a connection to this Linda Thorpe, send her this video, please. A link to this video, be my guest. I'll take this bitch on any day of the week. Okay, let me start first and foremost, bitch. First, what gives you the right to come before the king like that and disgrace yourself in front of a king? What gives you the right? Now, listen, every king has a court jester, a clown, a harlequin, so to speak, or a clown. And you, my dear, have just made yourself that indeed, and you're embarrassing yourself. Let me tell you something, bitch. There is a treaty in charge. There is land given back to the Aboriginal people. So when you say, give us our land back, yeah, a good majority of it has been given back to the Aboriginal people. Okay? So let's just start with that. 1. 2, you state that the Aboriginal people have been still under repression and all this stuff. No. Bitch, this is the reason why the voice referendum never worked out, because a bitch like you mouths off and says, yeah, we're going to take charge. Yeah, that's it. Power to the, power to the, all the people, all that bullshit, right? All the activist bullshit, right? Listen, if you did your homework, bitch, you would see it for yourself. What you should be pushing for is more, not just more land rights to the Aboriginal people, but more or less more construction, building for homes, pushing for more economical status for the Aboriginal people, not this whole boo-ha malarkey about give us our rights. Bitch, you guys have had your rights since the Constitution was written in the Parliament, dickhead. Bloody hell. What do you think that song, Treaty, was all about, you fucking moron? All that stuff has already been signed, sealed, and delivered. What hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered for the Aboriginal people is the fact of giving more government funding to build houses and building more stuff inland. More agricultural stuff need to be given. All sorts of things like that to the Aboriginal people. And their what do you call them? They not their camps, but what do you call them? Those special areas for the Aboriginal people, there should be more investment in those, but you just made yourself look like a right dickhead, okay? And also about the genocide business. listen, we as the people have already paid the price, for a lot of the Aboriginal people who were killed, right? Yes, white colonisation and the white people coming in colonising Australia was a good and bad thing. Consider this. There was a lot of diseases and stuff whilst they were brought in. We also brought in medicines and other things to cure the ailments as well. Imagine this, uh, yeah, imagine this, Linda, if the white people did not come into Australia or then some other white people would have come in. If it wasn't for the British people coming in, it would have been, the Spanish or some of the Spanish people coming in. If it wasn't from the UK mob that came into Australia, then it would have been the Spanish or the Greeks or the Italians. There would be a lot more other people coming in here rather than your just average Joe Blow. You follow me? So in a way, when the British came over, they did bring medicines and ailments to heal the sick as well. So imagine this, right? Some of the guys from that, like some of the people coming in from the top, like the Spanish and all that stuff, they came from the top end, like the top of Northern Territory and Western Australia. If the Spanish came around there, or some of the Greeks and Italians come from up around that end, come around down to that section. Imagine this, or some of the Filipinos and some of the Chinese, right? If they came around, the point being is there would be diseases and stuff there as well, and some of those people I don't think would be willing to share that with your people, right? They'd be worried about colonization and focusing majority on their own. Whereas some of the white people from the UK did feel sorry for those people, and they did get shot. A lot of the Aboriginal people did get shots from malaria and smallpox and things like that. So if it wasn't for the British, that you guys would, some of your people would be facing extinction right now, far more worse as well than what they already are now. You know what I'm saying? All right, woman. Then give me, why are you a senator then? Explain to me, bitch, why you put yourself in charge, right? You claim you're a senator, independent senator, right? You claim that you're a senator, right? That's part of the government of parliament, right? Do you realize the government of parliament is run by the British system? It's not the Americans that run it, darling. It's not the fucking Spanish or the Greeks or the Italians who run parliament. It's the British. So by you dissing the British government and that, you should literally, by your own rights, after this activist stunt you just pulled, acting like a court jester in front of the king, you, my dear, should be pretty much ashamed of yourself, for one, and two, resign your commission as a senator, because you're such a convoluted dumbass, a bitch. You follow me? And you know what? This is the reason. You know what? A lot of Aboriginal people have got it hard as is. I mean, it took lots and lots of years to try and stomp out racism. People ganging up and bashing Aboriginal people. Because they were black. There was lots of issues. Concerning the black people. A lot of the black people were hated. Like you said, there was a lot of genocide of your people, right? There was a lot of stuff. Your people were almost considered like a plague or an infestation, as it were. Like just nothing more considered than another thing like a tree in the way. Because basically, if you check it out in history, that you guys were actually, Aboriginal people were considered as part of the fauna, like along with the animals and the plants. They were not even considered Homo sapien or even people, right? According to the original first colony colonialists, right? Yeah, you lot got treated like shit. I fully agree with you. But do you realize by trying to not go about things diplomatically and you could have forwarded a letter to the king when he turned up here and stated you wanted to have a what I call it, a commerce or a conference with the king, right? And stand before him, bow before him, and then present your case. Instead, you just went in there like a fucking Looney Tune. I tell you, you're lucky you're not in the back in the 1800s when Queen Elizabeth the First was in charge. She'd have you fucking beheaded, bitch. You know, or even one of what was it, King Henry or some of those other guys, right? You're lucky you're not we're living in a modern civilized society, woman, because you know what? From this stunt right here, they wouldn't clap you with irons and put you in prison for this, right? For disturbance of the peace. You know what they would do? They'd have you done for treason and they'd have you beheaded, right? Yeah, and even your own people believe in beheading. Aboriginal people believe in beheading, right? They mounted people's heads on spears, right? On pikes, right? So, yeah, maybe you should take a leaf out of your own people's books and get someone to do that to you, you know? I don't know. You pretty much put your head on your own spike anyway, in a figure of speech. Because, listen, woman, what you're doing right now, this is treason. I know, right, Darren? What she's doing right here is treason. Do you know that treason is almost pretty much considered a thing against the king and queen? And if it's, of course, classed as treason, not only could you get a life sentence and imprisonment, but 10 times worse. Now, yeah, woman, I'm just telling you how it is, Linda. Step the fuck down. Shut up, sit the fuck down, and Linda Thorpe, step the fuck down. Take that ballsy attitude, shove it up your ass, and pretty much, more or less step down as a senator, because you ain't got the balls to be a senator. Sorry about that. Just had some words for the peanut gallery. Anyway, agreed. Agreed, Irish Raider. She should say this in the Senate and not in a public event. That is also true. Also true for a fact, she's doing it in front of the king. Like I said, it would be considered as treason. So she's even said she's not the king. She's even said he's not the king. Therefore, that's considered as treason. And over back in the old days, over in England, you'd be for saying such things. Off with your head, woman. And I wonder what would happen if you did that to a tribal elder as well. You'd also get axed as well. Or something a little bit more interesting. Or even banished from the tribe, yeah? By her own words, Linda, you should be banished from the Senate seat, and you should be even banished from your own people at this point. Because what you did was an insult to the Aboriginal community in Australia and an insult to Australians as a whole.
Their Majesties will now make their way through the hall.
Oh, yeah? Fuck the colony, you say, woman. Do you realise how many of the Aboriginal people actually killed colonists as well? A lot of Aboriginal people actually killed the white people as well. But no, you don't want to focus on that now, do you? But then again, back to the point. The point still being remains, there is a treaty in place. The Aboriginal people as a society and as a whole do have peace with the Aboriginal people. The Aboriginal people do have treaty with the white people. We are under truce, and what you're doing is bringing up past shit just to stir up drama. Listen, all that stuff from the past has been dealt with. Move on. Get a pair of balls, Linda, and move the fuck on. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Really, I am. You know, we have these things all over the place, you know, saying, oh, we respect the lands and all the things of the Aboriginal people on a daily basis. We have that even in the movie theatre, a message that plays before. Yes, we must respect the lands on the lands we are gathered here on today. All these messages that are popping up everywhere of how we must respect the Aboriginal. Now, I'm saying I find that annoying because we already know that this land belongs to the Aboriginal people. We already know all this. It's in our culture, it's in our heritage, and I'm pretty sure if you went on a mobile phone device, and actually Googled the bloody thing, you would also see the same thing as well. A lot of people would have that part of the Google history as well, discovering that, yes, it's part of our heritage that Aboriginal people owned the land before we showed up on the scene. But to try and shove that down our throats that, that we should be respectful and all this stuff. We already are. A lot of the people are respectful to the land and respectful to the people of generations from go. Well, you're a Torres Strait Islander. We're native Aboriginal people from Western Australia, Northern Australia, up in Northern Territory or Western Australia or Tasmania, or all the way up in Queensland and New South Wales, all the way down to South Australia. We do have respect, but why is it become such a thing? We're shoving this whole thing down people's throats. They say, oh, we've got to keep remembrance. We've got to keep the memory alive. Yes, true, we need to keep the memory alive of the Aboriginal people, not this and that, but why keep shoving this down our throats? You know, it doesn't make much sense, right? We know what had happened in the past. Everyone knows the story about Captain Cook, where he sailed through and helped establish and set up a colony, right? We know this. We all know about the stories about people that met the first Aboriginal people and how that went down. We know all these stories about how it happened. Do we really need people shoving it down our throats about this shit, okay? And a lot of Aboriginal people today are free. A lot of Aboriginal people have even been given a lot more privilege than most white people, right? There's a lot more black people getting into colleges and universities and studies, and there's a lot more opportunities opening up for black people and the black people society, right? As a whole, Australia has improved tremendously in giving Aboriginal peoples more opportunities and more rights and more things as a whole already. But what you're trying to do is saying, you're trying to basically say we're living in the past, darling. You're saying we're still colonizing, we're still treating black people like slaves. We're still trying to treat black people as garbage, which is not the case. A lot of the society as a whole is not. A lot of Australians are not racist and are not, treating black people like they're second-class citizens. There's a lot of people in Australia who stand up for black people, have black people as friends, the Aboriginal people as friends, and they wish to help their society grow and become more developed as a whole. There is hope for the Aboriginal communities. There is hope for the future. But when you start doing this shit, right, this puts a taint on your people. You know, this is why some people don't like people like you, because people create drama. And this is the reason why sometimes racism is a development of, the people they have a disagreement with acting out towards them. You know, you're literally creating racist people, woman, right? You're literally creating people wanting to genocide the last. That's what you're saying. You want people to do that. You want people to feel that way. Try and have this whole genocide business, bring that back and all that sort of thing. But it's not happening. It really isn't. There is no genocide of black people today. There isn't. There's a lot more, like I said, there's a lot more opportunities for Aboriginal people to improve and develop as a society and as a race and as a people. There's a lot more opportunities that have been open for them. A lot more than, say, there was in the 1940s or 1960s or 1980s. There's a lot more opportunities opening up. Yeah, even the old signs, no blacks allowed. Those signs are gone. At least the majority of them are gone from pubs and clubs, which were originally like that years ago. A lot of things have been blown open. Australia is becoming less and less racist for the most part. But the problem is that when you start shit like what you just did, it starts bringing back the racist people. I mean, we had, what was it, not that long back ago, racist groups stepping up recently. Yeah, you want to know why? Because they won't combat people like you trying to push their culture and ideology down their throat. People are sick and tired of being lectured to. People are sick and tired of being told what to believe and what to think, what to believe and what to think. Hey, Big Steve. I thought you were I thought your channel was destroyed, dude. I thought you were gone. Well, welcome back, Big Steve. Anyway, back to the point. Sorry, a little sidetrack. Just welcoming back an old fan of the channel. Back to the point. So, again, Linda, you're totally pear-shaped, right? You want unity, right? Well, why is unity meaning bending people's will to your beliefs? You know, it's not going to work. Building unity is about constructing a systematic system in order that benefits both sides. If both sides can come together and develop as a whole, the whole society itself benefits from that. And we're starting to see a lot of that opening up now. There's a lot more opportunities for Aboriginal people and Aboriginal cultured people to actually develop. It's not like we're living in the Middle Ages, darling, where your people are still being incarcerated and being thrown to prison or killed or murdered or whatever because of racism or because of some other colonization point of view. That's not happening anymore. We have developed as a society, as Australians, we have developed and become better as a society and more unified a society apart from your bullshit, darling. Okay, all good, dude. Good to have you back. So let's have a look and see what else we got from this Lidia Thorpe bullshit. Like, seriously. And what you did was very disrespectful, Linda, going up to the president and doing that. That's very disrespectful. And to be fair, not only you go remove your senator position, but I think you need to be thrown in prison, my point. Because you deserve to be thrown in prison for treason. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Let's go here and see what reason why she did the bullshit she was doing. All right, let's go listen to a madman or mad woman. In this case.
It? I did it for truth telling, global truth telling about the royals who caused so much devastation to not only our people in this country, but Indigenous people around the world.
First of all, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. I tell you, I swear to God, you haven't had a dildo shoved up your pussy for ages, bitch. You're sexually frustrated woman. That's what your real problem is. You haven't had a good fucking a long good time. That's probably why you're so fucking such a pissy ass bitch. That's a start of what I've got to say about you. Darling, take a dildo and shove it up your pussy.
We don't have a treaty in this country. We've been calling for decades and decades for a treaty. We just want peace. To see...
Oh, if you wanted peace, you wouldn't act like a dickhead on a daily basis, darling. One. Second of all, there is a truce, you fucking bitch. I know, right? I know she's trying to stand up for the black people, and yet she claims that, yeah. Well, I don't know whether she is actually black, dude. I think she's actually like a half caste, maybe. If that might be, if she's not white, she might be a half caste. But anyway,
the incarceration rates of our people in this country, our jails are full of Aboriginal people.
Bullshit. First and foremost, yeah, because they've done criminal activities, right? No, they're not chock-a-block full of Aboriginal people, but even then, at least probably, what is actually come to think of it, what is the percentage? Hang on, let me check. Okay. So let's say. Yeah. Well, why not about how many black? Yeah. Okay, that's not really helping. That's charges and offences. That's not really helping. That's not exactly helpful. There we go. The prison population in Australia, the ratio of Indigenous people is about 3%. 3%. Bitch. Yeah. 3%. Only 3% of Aboriginal people or Indigenous people are put in the prison. Yeah, continue. So you lied about that. Continue.
We have thousands, 23,000 Aboriginal children that have been taken from their families.
Not since the original taking of children in the past. Again, you're living in the past. You're a Looney Tune, bitch. That hasn't happened recently. That has only happened when that happened thousands of years ago, or at least a good couple thousand years ago now. That's not happening now, bitch. So please enlighten me on some new context. Not this whole rabbit-proof fence bullshit. None of this fucking stolen generation bullshit. Come on. Is there a stolen generation today? No, there fucking isn't. Please, bitch. Hit me with some real facts instead of talking out your ass.
We have over 600 deaths in custody where no one has ever been held accountable.
Bullshit. And again, that would also be the ratio of white people dying in custody as well, not just black people, you fucking moron. Or so we say Indigenous people, not so we don't piss off people.
We have our bones and our skulls still in his possession or his family's possession. We want that.
Yes, as museum pieces, as a historical reference. So there are some Aboriginal people's bones in the museum, right? I'm not going to deny that. Now, is that creepy? Is that weird? I'll leave that for you people to decide, right? But yes, there are Aboriginal people's bones in some museums, but it's for historical references, right? Most of it's for historical archiving. And by the way, let me just tell you something, woman. If it wasn't for some of those ancestral bones being looked after by the museums, let me tell you something, woman. None of those bones would never be existing today. Most of them probably would have rotted away or deteriorated or decayed into becoming part of the earth at this point, right? And that goes for even white people's bones do that. So I'm not even saying that because they're black people either. I'm saying for the fact that bones deteriorate and degenerate over time. So the fact of the matter is that you're saying that it's wrong for them to have possession of your ancestral people's bones. All right, fair enough, for Aboriginal people's bones. Okay, fair. However, by preserving and looking after it, it means that there is your ancestors still live on through their bones. I mean, isn't there some part of your religious beliefs about that sort of thing, about dead people and all that stuff? I'm pretty sure there is, saying, that there is life in the bones still even after death, or something to that effect.
Back. We want our land back, and we want your king to take some leadership and sit at the table and discuss a treaty with us, because treaty.
So what you want is to kick all the white people out of Australia. Is that what you want, bitch? No, that's not going to happen. Listen, that's not going to happen, bitch, Linda. That's not going to happen, you fucking dumbass. That's not going to happen. White people have every right to be here just as much as the black people belong here, especially those who are born in Australia as well. We all belong. We all should be working together to strive for a better future of Australia as a whole, not divided, not separate, not having like separate camps and things just for the Aboriginal people. We should all come together and work in unity to try and make Australia a better place for everyone to live in and coexist in. That's what we should be working on, and together as a whole in a society. But that's not what people like you believe in, bitch. It's your way or the highway. Am I wrong? Please tell me I'm wrong.
Is what will bring us peace. The kings before him and the queens before him did treaties with other nations or other countries, but we are still fighting for a treaty here, and until we have peace.
But you do have one, you fucking numbnuts! There is a treaty that has been signed. It's already been signed, sealed, and delivered. Go look it up. Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't want to go into Australian Parliament, do you? And go search through the archives and find the actual document paper that was signed, sealed, and delivered. It's already there, written in black and white, bitch. Go look it up. It's documented. I mean, you are a fucking, well, for how long, we don't know how long you're going to be a senator for, but while you still have that senatorial right, go and search for those papers, you dickhead. It's actually documented. It's actually physically and amalgamated, documented that you do have a treaty. It's black and white in paper. Yeah, because we don't write in bark. Sorry. I don't mean to be mean. That'll be a little bit mean. But again, we're not going to have it all signed on a leaf, right? Or signed on a banana bush leaf, right? We're having it all signed on an actual first worded document, woman. And it's all signed, sealed, and delivered, right? It's already been there. I don't know what it's called. Just wait a minute. That's the word. Yeah, here we go. A treaty is amongst part of the recognized amongst the First Nations as a distinct political communities. An acknowledgement of Indigenous sovereignty set out by mutually recognized rights and responsibilities, or provide some degree of self-government. So there you go. So we do have some Indigenous treaties in Australia. Let's see if we can label some of them off. We have the Australian First Nations, the binding legal agreements. That's still written. That was written on a tablet. The voice. No, not that shit. We have we have that. We have that. We have the Harvard Protect on American and Indian and Economic Development, but we also have other ones as well. You have the New Zealand one. We have a lot of other ones in history. We've got a lot of them that actually start coming down. But there has been, though. Fucking hell. But that's not part of that, though. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. The original treaty, right? Yeah, well, that was a bullshit thing. That's not what people think it is. Okay, it was a bullshit thing. The whole the voice referendum was bullshit because of dickheads like her. Because of dickheads like you, it failed. Especially, I blame the reason why that thing failed, Irish Raider, is because of bitches like this getting in the way and causing drama and bullshit. And basically the original treaty, right? The original treaty, right? In 1835, Victoria has a treaty with the Wurundjeri people, converting land from Geelong to Melbourne. There you go. One of the Melbourne's founders, John Batman. Yes, that guy, John Batman. John Batman presents deeds which claims to have signed over for the land in exchange for axes, flour, and other European goods. Bam, bitch. Go look up those papers from 1835. Yes, Australia has had a treaty. Yeah, because all they wanted, these bitches, these activists, what they want to use the voice for, and they claim it was for the Aboriginal people, but it's not. It was bullshit. It was basically so these activists can have their say. That's all they're about. It's bullshit.
We must continue to resist.
What are you fighting against? There is a treaty in place, darling. And that's already been sorted and dusted over. I don't know the reason why you're looking at some of the Google bullshit, because even if you go and look at Wikipedia, they say that there isn't a treaty either, which is bullshit. There is a treaty. It has been signed, sealed, and delivered. It's been there for years, since 1835. There has been a treaty in place since then, right? Since 1835, there has been a treaty in place with the Aboriginal people. But again, this dropkick doesn't know shit from shit. Learn some even history about your own people, you drongo.
He recognised grievances within his speech, and then towards the end of the speech you interrupted him and called him genocidal. Why is that the best way to deal with this?
I just did a previous interview, with all due respect, and I did not once interrupt his speech. I respectfully...
Bullshit. We have it on archive, bitch. You walked up to him only about 3.4 feet before the security guard stopped you from walking up to him, and you started spouting off your fucking bullshit dogma. Listen, Mitch, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. Stop your bullshit. If you want true peace and true unity in Australia, stop acting like a dickhead for starters. Because your dickhead ass fuckery isn't going to change a fucking thing. In fact, it's probably going to incarcerate you and more people like you. And I'm not just talking about the Aboriginal or half-caste like yourself. Just saying.
He waited.
Question. I'm sorry, I am going to interrupt you because I've only got a limited amount of time, Senator. Why did you call him genocidal?
Which is the King's speech.
Why did you call him genocidal?
I waited till the end.
Why did you call him genocidal?
There's thousands of massacre sites in this country from invasion, and someone needs to answer for that.
Okay, it has already been answered for. We have the Say Sorry Day. All right, let me look that up too while we're on something. We have Say Sorry Day Australia. It's on the 26th of May. National Sorry Day is an annual event in Australia on the 26th of May. It commemorates the stolen generation and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children who were forcibly removed and separated from their families, and in an attempt to assimilate them into white culture, right? Or a white Presbyterian culture, to be fair, during the mid-20th century, right? You follow me? So, yes, we do have a sorry day, bitch. And by the way, the original people who did that to your people are long since dead. What are you going to do? Dig up their graves and piss on their bones and shit in their grave and treat it as a public toilet? I mean, what do you expect? A lot of those people, like I said, Christopher Columbus, he's dead. You know, all the people, not Christopher Columbus, whatever his name was, you know, all these guys, that, you know, whatever it was, all the people who discovered Australia, they're long since dead, right? Who was it? Okay, William Jensen, the Dutch dude, right? First to found Australia, right? Then James Cook and all the rest of them, right? And I don't know if the other bloke I just said as well. But like all these blokes are long since gone. What are you going to do? Right? Are you going to hold their family accountable for their grandfather's actions? I mean, I know you guys love talking about generations. So what are you going to do? Incarcerate the descendants of William Jason and Dirk Huttentog and James Cook and all these guys? Are you going to try and actually put a subpoena and get the families of those people charged for murder? Is that how you're going to roll? Listen, woman, it's been over 1,000 years now. I mean, we're in the year 2024. It's been 1,000 years since all this went down, yeah? I mean, to be fair, I don't even think oh, no, I'm not going to say it. But my own personal views, I'm going to keep my mouth shut about, right? But to be fair, yeah, exactly. He's not committed genocide. Exactly. Again, who was the actual, actually, come to think of it, who was the king and queen at that time? Okay. So the first Parliament of Commonwealth of Australia was by the Duke of Cornwall and York, and later King George. Well, King George is dead, right? King George V, he's dead. So the King George was in charge during that time when all that shit went down. Yeah, it was King George. Yeah, it was King George who was in charge. Thank you, Irish Raider. Yeah, it was King George who was in charge at that point. And he's long since dead. So what are you going to do? Fly all the way over to fucking UK, get them to dig up his grave and shit and piss all over his bones? I mean, what are you going to do? There's nothing. You cannot hold anyone accountable anymore because the people you want to hold accountable for their actions are no longer with us. They are dead. So how are you going to hold people accountable for their actions if the people who are the ones that you want to be held accountable for are no longer with us? They are dead. They are deceased. They kaput. What do you want to do? Put where your hooda Aboriginal curses upon their bones and their bodies and put a curse upon their family? I mean, what else are you going to do? There's absolutely nothing you can do, okay? And then you're trying to hold, the only thing you're trying to do is trying to support your own racism and trying to say all white people are the same as those who killed the Aboriginal people in the past. So all of us white people have to be held accountable for the actions of our ancestors because we're all white. That is fucking racist 101, bitch. That's like us trying to go and kill and exterminate all you black people or the Aboriginal people because you killed some of our people when we were colonizing. You know, when farmers were trying to colonize and put farms out, a lot of Aboriginal would come along and killed livestock, and then eventually they in turn got killed in response to that. You understand? So in hindsight, what we should come to do is come together and apologize both as a community and put all this past bit behind us. not to say we don't. I'm not saying we don't remember this shit, right? Yes, we should have archived this stuff and have archives of it, but I feel like we should move on past this at this point. You know, it's been years since all this shit happened. Why do we hold a grudge? I mean, the people who did this are no longer with us. They are dead. I mean, isn't death considered enough punishment, especially if they end up in whatever your variation of hell is for their crimes, or whatever, or even death of itself, non-existence, if you don't believe in God and stuff. If you don't believe in an afterlife or don't believe in God and then believe that they just turn to the earth, then isn't non-existence also almost considered almost like a curse in of itself? You know, agreed. It's like, come on, woman, get your head out of your ass. All the stuff you're talking about is from the past. And if you keep, and you and your mob keep holding this grudge, all it's going to keep building up hate and resentment and causing racism. Not just for the white people, but for the black people as well. The white people are going to start hating the black people, and the black people are going to start hating the white people because of this massive divide that you guys have put in, which is a form of hatred and anger and hatred. Yes, I do understand what happened in the past was wrong. It was indecent. It was evil. It was bullshit. But that being said, there's nothing we can do to change the past. We can change the future. So why not we focus on changing the future rather than focusing on the past that we can do nothing about? Aya! Oh, I'm on fire. Let's go, bitch. And also, if this woman here, if this bitch here wants to debate me up on live panel, I'll gladly debate this bitch. If anyone wants to pay this bitch to come up here on panel with me, $5,000 or whatever it takes to get this bitch up on panel with me, I'll debate this bitch until the cows come home. You know, and I'll kick her ass.
And that's the king.
And if he is the successor, then he needs to answer.
Okay.
Thank you very
one of your
much.
colleagues.
Oh, bullshit. Yeah, he's a successor on the throne. That's true. But why should he be held accountable for the actions that the previous king done? That's bullshit. He's not the one who committed the genocide, you dickhead. He's not the one saying down with the Aboriginal people. Let's wipe out the Aboriginal people so we can colonize it for the white people. He's not saying that. He never said that. You, my bitch, are a Looney Tune. There's none of that shit's happening. All the stuff you're saying is a delusion in your mind from your anger and your hatred from things that happened in the past, right? All your bullshit is derived from anger and hatred in the past. Let it go. Because there's nothing you can do about it. The people who need to be held accountable for their actions are dead. Well, I said, what are you going to do? Find out where their graves are at and go yearly and monthly, go put a curse upon their family, and go put a curse upon the grave. What's that going to achieve? The dead is dead. What's the point in cursing the living when the living doesn't even really care all that much what happened, right? We as a society have moved on past that. The white people, the Aboriginal people, we've moved on. We've forgiven. We've passed on past that point. It's no longer an issue. My God. Ignorance is bliss to these imbeciles, and especially this imbecile bitch right here. You're an imbecile. I don't know how you got accreditation or documentation, but I'm probably sure you probably fucked some of your teachers to get up to where you're at, bitch. Just saying. Because if you didn't fuck your way up the chain to become a senator, then obviously you must have got privilege to become a senator. If you didn't fuck your way to the top, you might as well have your privilege to have done it. You're an idiot.
One of your colleagues described you as abusing your position, and your intervention was disgraceful.
Indeed.
How do you respond to that?
I'm not fussed about what people say about me. I will continue to fight for justice for my people. We are the real sovereigns in this country.
Yeah. But that being said, when you act like a bitch, you basically are breaking the truce and the treaty, right? You do realize that, bitch. All the truce and treaties that have been set up with your people, when you break that truce, you're deliberately almost starting a war again with the Aboriginal people and the white people in Australia. You're trying to create a division and a divide between the people. That's what you're doing. And this is either you're too stupid or you're too stubborn or too much of a dickhead to see that you've got your head up your own arsehole, woman. You've got your head so far up your own ass crack, you know, you might as well see your tonsils coming out the front end of your mouth at this point. You've got you're so far up your own ass, you don't even realize you're doing more damage to your own people and to your own cause. I mean, we already had this with another example with the vegan activist Tash Peterson as well, doing the exact same thing. You know, these activist women are absolutely psychopaths. Tash Peterson is one of them. And then we've got another one here. Of course, there's other loose cannon right here, namely Linda Thorpe. You're a loose cannon, bitch. And you really are being detrimental to your own race of people and being detrimental to the culture and being disrespectful to the culture and also the people of the land as well. All that stuff that you claim that you're being claim of sovereignty, you're disowning that sovereignty and you're being disrespectful to that sovereignty and causing shit and problems that don't need to exist because we've moved on as a society past that point. You're a Looney Tune. You're a political Looney Tune. But continue, bitch. Let's continue, bitch. Let's go.
The king is not our sovereign. The king lives in your country. He's from your country. He can't be our king. So I don't really. I have this.
Listen. All right. So what would you suggest then? Should we put a Aboriginal elder in charge of the parliament then? Or what would you prefer? That we have a king in Australia? What would you prefer? An elder or a king put in Australia? Right? What would you prefer? A diplomatic government or a sovereign government where basically martial law and sovereign law can come in and take charge more fully if we had a king in Australia? Do you understand? We as Australia are lucky to have the UK and having all those people. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? We are lucky as a society and as a country. We're lucky to have the sovereignty of the UK, of the United Kingdom, looking after our asses, right? We are lucky to have that kind of support and constant economical growth and sustainability coming from the United Kingdom. We are and under the kingdom of the sovereignty of the government. We are lucky that we are on that stuff. I mean, a lot of your shit comes from government funding, bitch. A lot of your whole bullshit comes from government funding. To help to support the Aboriginal community, a lot of it is from government funding. So again, where's government funding come from? It comes from the government. Where's the government come from? A sovereignty and the state's priority from higher up. Where's the higher up? That is that from the kingdom of the sovereignty of the Britain. So yeah. Exactly. There is unity there, right? We are lucky. Canada's lucky, Australia's lucky, and even Britain. We're all lucky that we will have each other's backs in a wartime scenario. Exactly. Exactly, Irish Raider. Well said. So your bullshittery, what you're doing, I don't know whether you're realizing or not, but you, bitch, are creating a massive chasm and divide between the Aboriginal people and the white people of Australia. You're creating a chasm and a divide. You fucking Looney Tune.
The support of Aboriginal people around this country. I have the support from my grandmother. I have support from elders around the country.
Oh, yeah. They only put up with you because they want you to shut the fuck up.
Might look put up the scary photos, but I will continue to resist. And it's only when other people have their children removed, when their families are incarcerated, when you have your land taken from you, that you will understand what I'm talking about. But
Oh, yeah. Well, we do have that by housing trusts, right? There's some people who do get kicked out on the street, and that's even with white people. That's the reason why we have housing issues in Australia. Let me just look that up while we're on the subject. All right, here we go. There are less properties available to rent as the population has grown and the international students and skilled family and migrants have returned to Australia post-COVID. The demand has not been met by new buildings due to high interest rates. The difficulty of obtaining supplies is high. The difficulty of obtaining supplies and higher building costs and lower consumer confidence. Well, there you go. So, again, a lot of the stuff that's going on, again, is that happens, it's already happening. There are people that are losing their homes and properties due to the fact of, things going wrong, right? That is a case. It is happening, not just with the black people and the black community and the Aboriginal community, right? But also the white people as well are having the same problems. You're a Looney Tune, okay? We all should be working together as a society to share what we have, money, resources, all the stuff that we have as a society. We should be using everything we have in our power to try and help make society sustainable and be more better as a whole. But people like you, bitch, just sit there and say, you bitch, I like this person just sitting there saying, right, you change this, you change that, you change that. Or if you don't change that, you're racist. Or if you don't change that, I'm going to come for you and tell you how it is. Go fuck yourself. Do the old, actually, no, we'll do it the old British way. Instead of going the one finger, have the two up, bitch. Have that. Have some British style, bitch. Have a double two up. There you go. Fuck you, bitch. Because in the whole hindsight, what you're doing is actually doing detrimental damage to your own fucking cause, you fucking Looney Tune.
Understand that, it's all about portraying me as an angry black woman. Well, yeah, I'm angry. I'm angry because I see...
Your skin color has nothing to do with it, darling. You're just an angry bitch, full stop, because you're a complete and utter narcissist. And not only are you a narcissist, darling, but you're also a drama queen, darling. Not only that, but also you're a fucking idiot, because you think what you're doing will help benefit your society and benefit your culture and a benefit to your people. It won't benefit. It makes you and them look like right royal pricks and prats and morons. You're making your whole entire people look like idiots. Do you not understand? And you wonder why people are starting to rise up and be racist. Like there is this whole thing that recently happened, right? Like, here we go. Where was it? Right. Oh, where was it? I saw it recently. I don't know if it's still here. All right, here. Check this out. Do you know what? This is what you've caused, Linda. This is what you've caused. I hope you're happy, because this is your fault. This right here is your fault.
Marching on a country town, converging on Corowa's War Memorial.
What the is this bull?
Yesterday, around 50 neo-Nazis brought black shirts, balaclavas, banners,
Blood and honour! Blood and honour!
and hate.
They've already begun firing locals from this town. They're firing locals from their jobs, and they're importing cheap labour from the third world to replace them.
Led by far-right extremist and convicted criminal Thomas Sewell, the surprise rally happening in the small Murray River town a stone's throw from the Victorian border, enraging some locals.
That's it, take the masks off. Pack of dogs.
When you dare stand up against the people.
This is disgraceful and cowardly behaviour.
Not sure why.
That, my darling, is your fault. That is your fault, Linda. That activist protest against black people and race, people in gender, that's your fault, right? You want to know why I say that's your fault? I'll tell you why that's your fault. Because your stupidity has created a divide amongst the people between white and black people. Instead of coming together, you've created a divide and made it all about you. It's not about the people. It's not about race. It's not about gender anymore. It's about you. And people who feel that the white people who are feeling oppressed will fight back. That's what's happening because of you. And then your people, the Aboriginal people, will have a lot more things like that happening. A lot more people will be rising up against the black people, and the whole racist thing will come back. The racism against black people has been dead for years now, you know, but now it's starting to take a rise, an increase again. Why? Because of activist bullshit artists like yourself. You are the reason why racists are rising up in this country. You are the reason why this whole entire unity thing between Aboriginal people and the white people is falling flat down. That's the reason why. It's because people like you who want to enforce and try to push your ideology and your beliefs down people's throats. People don't like being lectured to. People don't want to be told what to believe. People don't like being told stuff. Instead of being lecturing to them, say, this is the way it is, this is the way it was, this is the way it will be, you can change the future. People out there, I implore everyone who's watching, the 5 or 6 or 10 or 11 people, how many people are watching this stream, we can change the future if we allow the future to develop and grow and create unity of trying to bring people together. If we bring society together, our society will thrive and grow in unity. If we bring the people together, if we stand divided, we will fall into a debauchery and into a society that's not contributable to anybody, both white people and black people and whatever other nationalities come into Australia. We will become a desolate country if we do not cooperate and make Australia a better place. Do you understand? Do you understand, Linda? You will literally make Australia desolate by your stupid ideology and beliefs that the white people are the problem. No. Not just the white people are the problem. Black people have problems as well. The Italians and the Greeks have problems. You know, the Chinese and Japanese and the Asian people who come in here have problems. We have a lot of people who have problems. It's not just settled by race and gender, darling. It's far more superior than that. A lot of the drama comes from lack of understanding, a lack of growth, a lack of sharing resources. If we had a lot more understanding, a lot more sharing of resources, and worked on creating development as a society as a whole, focus on that rather than all the nitpicky and bullshitty drama in between, and also the bullshit that happened in the past. Let it go. I don't get it. Like, so what you're saying is, by your logic, woman, should we still today incarcerate or blame a lot of the Germans for the Nazi regime? Should we still blame all Germans for the Nazi regime? Right? Should we blame all the Germans for Nazism? And especially those who didn't even participate in the war. Should we still keep blaming them for that? No, we shouldn't. Should we blame all the white people in Australia for the sins of our forefathers who committed mass murder? No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't be holding the people of today's society accountable for things that happened in the past. It's bullshit. Okay? Just dogmatic, politically bullshit. We should all let go, learn to forgive. Never forget. This is the key element I want to stress to everyone. We should never forget, but we should forgive and push past as a society and start growing as a whole, focusing on what can benefit our society instead of focusing on our own selfish desires and our own selfish beliefs and all the anger and hatred. Let it go. Let go of anger and hatred. So if you don't let go, it will eat into you. And like I said, you want people to help you. Okay, you want people to help you accountable for stuff. Like I said before, what are you going to do? Go dig up James Cook's bones, George Cook, James Cook's bones, or that other bloke that those other people's bones, the people who discovered Australia. Yeah, William Jansen, the Dutch dude. Shall we blame all the Dutch people for colonizing Australia first, right? Or I said Captain Cook. You know, what do you want to do, woman? What do you want? What do you want? What do we do? Do we hold their hands? Those people specifically. Let's narrow it down. Why don't we blame the Cook family, right? For their ancestors' problems, right? Why don't we do that? Nah, you want to know why we shouldn't do that? Because we should learn to forgive what the past has done to us. So we should forgive, we should forgive Captain James Cook's family, right? We should forgive William Jenzoon for discovering Australia, right? Again, whether it's the Dutch explorers or the European or the British explorers, again, we should just forgive, right? But no, because you want to hold someone accountable for their actions. But here's the problem, bitch. The people you want to be held accountable for their actions are dead. James Cook is dead. That William Dutch dude, he's dead. I mean, we do have their descendants, but what are you going to do to their descendants? Are you going to stone them? Are you going to cut off their head and stick it on a spike, on a spear? What are you going to do to James Cook's descendants? What are you going to do to that William Dutch bloke's descendants, right? What are you going to do? Put a curse upon them? What are you going to do? Go and piss on their... If you really want to go down, go to James Cook's grave and go shit and piss on his grave if you want, right? I mean, but again, what will they achieve? Really, you can't. There will be no justice, right? Because the person you want justice to get justice for, they're no longer with us. They are dead. I don't get it. You can't get any justice from someone who's died. Death in and of itself is a justice. The fact is, James Cook is dead. That should be justice in and of itself. Actually, come to think of it, while we're on the subject. Let's go and actually have a look, shall we? How these guys died, right? Now, James Cook, right? The guy who allegedly discovered Australia, right? For the British guys. Get this. When James Cook tried to take a king hostage after a theft of a boat of the inhabitants became alarmed, and during a struggle, Cook was stabbed and killed on 14th of February, 1779. The dude was stabbed to death and died from internal bleeding and bled out. When they got him back to the ship, he died. on the ship. So there you go. Now, so he got stabbed and killed. So even then, there's your justice. James Cook was stabbed and murdered himself, right? He's dead. He's been murdered himself. Irony. He allowed people to come to Australia, the white people come to Australia and murdered some of your people, and he himself was murdered. There's your justice, woman. Look up the history of these people. There's your justice, darling. James Cook was stabbed and murdered, and rightfully so, because he tried to steal another native person from their tribe. The tribe people were not happy about it, and they killed him. Or actually, I don't know which one did it, but yeah, he did get stabbed and killed. So there you go. James Cook got killed. There's your justice. One. Now, what about the other guy? Let's find out how this guy died, shall we? William Janzoon. How did he die? Good question. Yeah. Yeah, well, I know how he died, though. Well, it doesn't say how he died, but just said that he was thought to have died in 1630. So it doesn't really say how he died, but I'm guessing old age. But again, he died, right? Let's see what else. Okay, his ship was the ship that he sailed on was became a wreck. So yeah, that's fine. But yeah, pretty much what we understand, the guy died of old age. But again, still he's dead now, right? So William Janzoon is dead. James Cook is dead. What's the point in continuing on this hatred and animosity towards white people when the first original white people who came to Australia were the ones that caused this whole debacle and bullshit to begin with? They are dead. They're gone. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Linda? What are you going to do, bitch? Linda Thorpe, what are you going to do? I'll tell you what you should do. Stop talking bullshit and try and create unity instead of causing division. That's what you should be doing, bitch. But hey, what do I know, right? I'm just a simple old white Australian who doesn't know any better, right? Yeah, put it this way, woman, I know 10 times better than more than what you do. That being said. Alrighty then. Well, that's the drama with this one. But, geez, what a Looney Tune that woman is. Again, thank you for people who are stopping by. Thank you, Irish Raider, for stopping by. Thank you, Big Steve, for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you again, Big Steve, because I haven't had a chat for you for a while. Miss Ratty, yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the 5 people watching, thank you all for being here. And this is a shout out to Linda Thorpe. Linda, resign your commission as a senator because you've done a shit job. Your diplomatic intentions have failed. Your diplomatic your non-diplomatic system, as it were, has failed. Just like the voice and referendum has failed. You want to know why it's failed? Because of you fucking bullshit activists. Because of your bullshit, that's the reason why even your own people are embarrassed by you and disgraced by you. And by being disgraced, you've disgraced you've dishonored not only your own people, but your own family and your whole entire country as a whole. You are a disgrace, woman. Resign your commission as a senator, because hell, I would be a better senator than you would ever be, bitch. And I'm a white dude. And I'd definitely be better advocating for more schools to be built, more housings in locations, and more digging for water and stuff like that in places where there's not water. You know, I'd be advocating for more rights to go do that stuff with. But hey, all right. Finish off with an Australian song, actually.
So we have Akamai API security to the power of n, but I need something more exponential, more superscript.
What about It's Debbie High's Price Frenzy with crazy deals.
All right, just in the chat the final time. Yeah, I was supposed to go to bed half an hour ago, Sue me, but I stayed up because to cover this drama, and now I'm going to go to bed. Anyway, I'm heading off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here, Sue me, and Saint Ratty, and Big Steve, and also Irish Raider. Thank you all lovely people for being here. I love and care about each and one of you, and appreciate you all being here. All right, have a